Hello 500 class. Tonight we're going to work on some choking techniques, so that sounds fun. So get your partner ready, and then we're also going to work on a little bit of the Ji-on sequence towards the end of the kata and start finishing that up. Now for some choking practice, we'll just work the arm positions. So if I was behind my partner, I could wrap my arms, the rear naked choke, and there's a couple different positions. Right now I want the arm across the shoulders like this. So imagine if it was happening to me, I'd want this in line with my shoulders, so we won't go farther than that yet. This would be for an air choke. Now I'm going to slide my other arm in, wrapping on top, go behind my opponent's head, and I want to push their head forward as I pull my elbow back, and that applies the wrist to their throat to choke them and the leverage. So if you see that sideways, I'm holding here, pressing. I can even put my head on the back of my hand as I use my head to help press and choke. Now what I want to do also is step back so I'm low with my hips and then press and pull onto the choke. So think of like you're slicing into the neck with that choke. You want to go right across the windpipe. Try the other arm if you haven't. So across, wrap behind the head, hand on the back of the head, step behind, pull them backwards, and squeeze tight to choke. Pull them towards your chest, right? Because that's the other part we can't, if there's a gap there between you and your partner, you won't have the choke and they'll have an escape route. So pull them tight to you and point that wrist as you pressure the choke. The next version will be the same arm position, but we're gonna go farther. So now I wanna get my elbow in front of their chin, right? So now I'm choking not the front of the throat, but the side of the neck, the carotid artery, okay? And I wanna go in with the side of the wrist this way towards their neck. Now grab again. This hand won't go behind their head, but it goes to the opposite side of their head because I want to push and pull with this part of my arm and my palm of my hand. And then again, step back and push and squeeze, pull them in tight, okay? So you want to constrict the neck. One more time, step back, press. Try the other arm. 1, 2, wrap around their head, pull them back, squeeze. Think of like making a muscle, right? Again, and squeeze. Okay, so that's your, without a gi, that would be a good choke to use, right? If you have a jacket or a sleeve, this would be another fun one to use. So you take one hand, you go in your sleeve like this, and their neck goes in the middle there. So you see the loop, right? The hole created right here. So that would be what you're choking. Now you can do it with one hand if you just grab your other sleeve and then you can choke this way. So this would be around their neck and you'd step back and pull and squeeze the choke. Now depending on the position, if like their head is facing you, you'd be choking the air, right? I'd be on the air choke. If their head is facing you but I'm on the side of them, it would be more of a blood choke, probably a little bit of both, but more into the blood choke. Now you can also get a double cuff choke by getting both hands inside your sleeve. It's a little bit harder to get, but if you have an extra second and get your hand in there, it's a better anchor. And now you open the choke this way and then you close the choke that way. And you can see where all the space goes, right? It goes away. Just a hairy wrist showing off there, right? And you squeeze. So you would bring around. What I always like to do is get my partner off balance by pushing the hip, then get my hand in there, you see? And then maybe the other one if I can, and then squeeze and choke. Still stepping back, pulling them off balance, right? So again, maybe my opponent was, I got their back this way, I turned them around, I wrap around the neck, push their hips out so they're out of balance, reach up and grab my sleeve, if I can get the other sleeve, good, and then ring that choke, right? The fingers work best if you can get inside. If not, your thumb is fine too, just a little less rotation of that. So the fingers work best. All right, so those are 3 awesome chokes you can do. There's a lot of other ones, but those are 2 of my favorites. Now let's go to the Ji-on practice. So we're gonna work the end of the kata, that last low block before our finish. So now my leg and arm move together. I lift, block. This arm's covering the groin, then the hammer fist goes around. This is a clavicle strike, so I'm not hitting low, I'm hitting down and forward this way, right? So think of hitting to someone's collarbone that way. Then this arm comes down and land with that clavicle strike. And then one more. This is your low block. And land. Okay, so let's do that again. There's 3 of them. So left foot forward, low block. 1, and 2, and 3. And you want to really come down strong on the ground to help that power that hammer fist. Last time tonight. So ready? The timing of the landing with the leg coming down is when your hikate happens, right? So leave this arm low, stretch it down, and then pull it strong. Down, pull. Down, pull. Okay? So try that out. That's the next piece of the kata we'll be working on in class soon. Hope to see you in the Zoom class. Thanks. Enjoy your night.